Hey everybody, it's Rabbi Shmuel Pollen. I want to welcome you back to the Light Unto the Nations show. Men, get out of here because this show is for women only, as was the day before and the day before that. We're doing like a three-part series for women, and we're going to tackle a question that they're all asking, you are all asking, uh, why can't I find a good man? Where are all the good men? Where have they all gone? So first, I just want to say how much respect Judaism has for women. We just read the Torah portion that talks about Abraham, who was the first Jew. He's like the archetype man of all men, sort of like Adam was the archetype for all men, for all mankind, and Abraham was the archetype for all Jews. He had a wife named Sarah, and they had a dispute about one of their sons. And God said, "Tishma v'koila." He said words that boom throughout the generations. Listen to her voice. Listen to the voice of your wife. And we're going to talk about in this video what that means. What does it mean to listen to the voice of your wife? How it should be done? Because if it's not done right, it could be disastrous. Also, in Jewish law, it says that women are noilad mahul. They are born circumcised. Now, why doesn't it just say that they have no pendulum, as we might say? They don't have that organ. So the answer is because the circumcision is a process of elevation of the man, is taking off the coarseness and letting be exposed his soul to if his soul should take flight to God. And a woman already has that. They're nolad mahul. They're born circumcised. They're born with this elevation in place. They're already extremely spiritually sensitive, and they are on a higher level than the man, as we will explain. So you want to know why you can't find good men. The first thing I just want to get out of the way is a terrible misconception that some may have taught you that a woman's job is to compete with the man, be better than the man, get degree after degree, succeed in the workplace, be a high-powered person. And the truth is that that doesn't really move the needle for most men. Most men are not impressed by that. Um, they are not looking for that, and a lot of time has been wasted trying to attract men in a way that doesn't really attract them. Um, what they want to see, if I didn't say it already, is they want to see what kind of wife you're going to be and how happy you are now. That's what they want to see. And the relationship between the man and the woman is that the man goes out and hunts. He's the warrior that goes out and hunts, and she is the nurturer. The man wants to see that the woman is going to be a nurturer, and a nurturer does not mean that she's subservient in any way. She might do the housework because she is the home, but that is because she is the battery. She is the power source. She's the source of power that the man must plug into. The man must know he's able to come home and get recharged and get a boost in his self-esteem and in every way become a greater person through his contact with the woman. He gets that lift, and then he's able to go out into the world and make a big difference and change the world. If they don't get that boost, don't get that. I mean, if they do get the back rub and the laundry's done and there's a hot cooked meal and there's no criticism, if he all those things are in place, he will be putty in your hands. You know, he will never think about another woman. He will never think about cheating. He will never cheat. He'll be with you forever and ever if you give him that nurturing that he's looking for and that he needs. Um, if not, if you are unhappy and you criticize, and that is what happens is what's called state transference, where your state uh, becomes his state. And if you're unhappy, he's going to be unhappy. He's going to bring in his warrior energy. He's either going to become submissive and just say, yes, ma'am, and that's unattractive and feminine. And we don't want that for the man. And the other option is he becomes more masculine, but too masculine, and becomes combative. He brings in his warrior energy from the outside into the home. And that's very dangerous. When he starts yelling and she starts yelling, eventually the negativity can spiral into a situation where you can't even be in the same room with each other. And I've been in that situation where you cannot even be in the same room as your wife or your husband. And the key here is, again, in the Bible, God says to Eve, I want you to be an Ezer Kenegda. I want you to be a helper who is opposite him. Well, are you supposed to be a helper or are you supposed to be opposite him? Which one is it? So the truth is, it's like a player before a game in practice. He has someone that blocks him. He has someone that he hires to block him. And wherever he goes, he's there to block him. And the woman feels a need to like block their husband. That's why they criticize. They feel a need to, what they're actually trying to do is trying to help him because they're on a higher level. They know better than him. And so they want to improve him. But the problem is if they're a Kenegda, if they're always seeming like they're opposing him, then it causes state transference, negativity, spiral, divorce, terrible mess, conflagration. What needs to be the case is that it's so clear that you're a helper that he doesn't even mind it, and he would even pay for it. He would even pay to have this kind of criticism. It's kind of like in a merger, and one party says this, and the other party says that. You don't get upset at the other party for saying something contradictory. You're happy that they say something contradictory because it could save the company millions and millions of dollars. So that's how it has to be. When you say something to your husband, it has to be that he knows that you're on his team. He knows that you're helping him, not hurting him. And it should be said in such a nice way. You could sandwich it with compliments in front and compliments on the back. But it should be said in such a nice way because, after all, they deserve even more than your coworkers deserve. And you wouldn't talk to your coworkers the way you talk to your husband very often, which is very sad. So it has to be so clear that you're on his team, that you're helping him, that he would actually pay for your advice. That's how good it should be. Criticism on its own, if it's not done right, if it's just viewed as criticism, it blows up marriages. Men do not handle criticism well. Like I said, they become submissive or combative, and either one is a terrible tragedy. And for some of you, the reason why you can't find good men is because you're actually looking for bad men. You're looking for bad men, and you're complaining that you don't have good men. And I see on YouTube and all over the place men teaching other men to be jerks, to be putting down women and treating them with disrespect. And they're doing that because many of you women are responding to that. You don't want the one that's a nice guy because he's uninteresting and he's needy or he's clingy. Well, give them a bit of a chance and teach them how not to be clingy. Why should they have to learn from these men, from these jerks, trying to teach them to be jerks? Why should they have to learn from them how not to be needy? Let you teach them how not to be needy. And then you'll wind up with a non-needy guy who's a good guy. You'll wind up with everything. You'll wind up with everything you want. If you go for the bad guy, that's the short-term pleasure, and he will cheat on you. He will break your heart, and that's just the foiling of the evil inclination who always wants you to take the short-term gain and give up the long game. He always wants you to indulge every urge that you have. And if you have that urge for a bad man, just realize that I have this urge, but I don't have to indulge in it. I'm looking for the long term. I'm looking for what's really good for me. So I'm going to go after a good man, and I'm going to guide him kindly towards being less needy and more masculine. And you can actually teach him that because you're on such a high level. You can not only make yourself happy, you can make other people happy. Not only improve yourself, but improve other people. Happiness is gratitude and acceptance. Like I said, find the 1% that he's doing right, accept the rest. You've got to be able to accept what they're doing wrong, then you'll be happy. Women got a reputation. You earn this reputation somehow that a man can be happy with ramen noodle soup in a one-bedroom apartment, and a woman could be in a mansion and she'll still find a way not to be happy. Well, we don't want that. We want you to be happy in every situation. And watch my other videos about happiness to understand more about that. And I wish you all loving marriages filled with acceptance and gratitude. And may your marriages last forever. May they be binyan adei ad. That's what we say in Judaism. May they be everlasting edifices. May you have everlasting homes. We're successful inside the home and outside the home. and God bless you all.